I do have a pretty heavy social media presence, or at least I've tried. It's lessened over the last year because I've been so busy, but that is actually a huge point for me. It's such an easy way to get education out there. And so that's been a good resource.
Do you feel that people in your industry are not really utilizing social media as a growth?
I don't know. I think they are. I think they may not do it.
Shari Carlson is a financial advisor, founder of Unity Wealth Strategies, and a CFPR candidate. She helps entrepreneurs and families simplify money, build wealth, and plan for the future with a relationship-first approach.
We all have our way of doing things. I think my way, it's different than the industry standard, but part of that is I'm not buying my content from anyone. A lot of advisors hire an outside company to help them do the content. Nothing wrong with that. It's always amazing, which is like the big scary thing in my world.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of Scaling Up Success. I'm super excited about this one. I have Shari Carlson on with me today. Shari, we've been friends for a long time. I'm glad to catch up with you. How you been?
I'm good. I've been very, very busy doing all of the things that we do as business owners and parents and all of those things.
And man, I mean, you balance things. You have your son. I love seeing him growing up. You have Unity Wealth Strategies. I mean, you started your own financial advisor company. I mean, it's pretty cool to see your growth because like when we both kind of started back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
it's so cool to see how far you've grown and what you've accomplished. And I couldn't be more proud of you. Like I said, before coming on here, like I watch you from afar. I just love to see your growth. So tell us
Thank
what's going
you.
on with what you got going on with your business.
So we are in growth mode. It's that which I think every business probably says that they're growing, right? Excuse my dogs if you can hear them in the background. Someone rang the doorbell and so the dogs go ballistic. But I know all business owners say they're in growth mode, but the way that we're doing it is a little different because my business is so referral based and relationship based that I've been so focused on building those really close relationships with my clients. And that has been basically where I am in business all the time. Like I'm not doing as much marketing, I'm not doing as much networking. I've really focused in on how can I build those people up and get to know them as much as I possibly can. And then I'm working on my CFP as well, which is a whole nother thing.
So go into that. What if people don't know what a CFP is? What is a CFP?
So it stands for Certified Financial Planner. It is a designation that you receive after really a lot of it is the education and putting in the work to have the know-how of supporting clients in that financial planning space. So a lot of people don't know how to differentiate the things that I do. So we have financial planning and we have investment management. Some financial advisors only do one or the other. And I do both, but I love the strategy and the planning part. So the CFP is one of those extra things that you can do in my world to build rapport automatically. It gives you letters after your name, which is wonderful. But it also is one of those things that gives you a support system within our world of other financial professionals and organizations that can give you resources and things like that. So I'm a year into the education. So I have my very last class. It's like a capstone basically. And then you have to get something like it's thousands of hours of financial planning experience and then you take a big test that is I've heard comparable to the CPA exam, so it's a whole thing.
So not much going on that side at all.
Nothing at all.
So as you've been building this thing out, what does your business look like? Has it changed since you started this thing, about a year and a half ago?
Not really. Because I've been an advisor for it's like 6 years, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in those first 5 years, I spent that time really figuring out who I wanted to be within this world because I didn't come from a financial family. I didn't, and that is a kind of common thing in this industry. I came from banking and lending, and that's sort of the same, but I've spent the last years building up, what do I want to be and what do I want the firm to look like and who do I want to help and how do we want to structure it? And so it was kind of cool because I have Becky, who is my support person with me, and she and I just worked to make everything as consistent and solid from the very start so that we don't have to create any kind of drastic changes for clients at all, ever, hopefully. We were trying to start out the way we're going to be consistently. So, yeah,
I
it's
love
been kind of
that.
cool.
Do you feel like having somebody working with you has helped you as opposed to being like a solopreneur in this in your endeavor?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I could have done it without her. She is licensed. She's got the same Series 65, which is the securities license I have. And she worked for the firm we were both with previously for years as well. But her focus is she's very detail oriented, she's very task oriented, she just gets things done, knocks it out. She approaches things in a very she thinks through things very differently than I do. I'm very strategy focused and I'm very like emotion based focus, and she helps kind of bring all the details into all of that and see things that I wouldn't always necessarily see, and the other way around. So we support clients together almost always. I don't think there's any clients that we haven't both touched at some point or another. And that has been just vital to making everything work. I definitely couldn't have done it alone.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you have like some people call it like an avatar of who your ideal client is, and what would that look like?
So I have a couple actually because my client base is very broad. Some of the clients that I have I actually inherited from someone else. And so they are in retirement already. They're distributing funds from their accounts. They want someone who's going to support them but have the answers and not overwhelm them, to help them with tax strategies, with distribution strategies, those types of things, but on a level that's willing to talk to them. So a lot of people do everything electronically, and some of them just want to sit with a person and talk to them on the phone. They don't want to do Zoom. They want to be, so I have like that demographic of people that are either just before retirement or already in retirement looking for that kind of, some of it's like legacy conversations. Now, the other side are a bunch of entrepreneurs. So they're anywhere from about my age, like the 35 to 55 entrepreneurs growing their businesses. They need to understand how do they save for themselves, because being working W-2, you learn, okay, I have a 401k, I can put money in, and then they'll put money in for me too, and then I'll have some retirement funds, right? But when we're self-employed, it's a whole nother world of figuring out how do we save for ourselves, because we don't know that we will have money when we get to retirement or even not having to work. Retirement doesn't always mean that you stop working, but living
Yeah.
independently is what it means. So those entrepreneurs are people who are very education focused. They're trying to make sure they know how to make money work for them, but they have somebody who will talk to them like a real person, not using all of the lingo that my industry tends to use, which is great for knowledge, but it's horrible for talking to clients because most of the time they don't understand half the things coming out of our mouth. So
Right?
I like to work with those real people who want another real person to support them in their money. So it's two very, very different categories of people that I tend to work with, and they all fill my cup. They all make me so happy.
I love that. And you said that you work a lot of your business now is becoming from like referral based, right? So
Yeah.
like where do you feel like you're making that connection? Is that your personality? Is that what you're comfortable with, your lead gen side of it? Tell me a little bit more.
So a lot of it is existing relationships that I have. I've had people I went to high school with, which was a long time ago, almost 20
Like 5
years.
years, like 5 years.
Whatever. Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that. And the kid's graduating high school in 2 years, so that's weird. So I have people that I met in high school 20 years ago that have now reached out to me saying what I do through social media. But existing clients are a big thing, those relationships. I have some clients that I have two and three generations of people that I work with, and that is just like, I don't even know how to have words for that.
How's that make you feel?
It's just a lot of feels because when you get to see the you get to see the family dynamic, and you get to see the the care they have for each other and their arguments sometimes. And sometimes it's almost always one person is kind of dictating what the other two generations are doing.
Sure, sure.
They're like, you should be doing this and you should be doing this. It's kind of fun to watch, but it's all I do have a pretty heavy social media presence, or at least I've tried. It's lessened over the last year because I've been so busy, but that is actually a huge point for me because that is such an easy way to get education out there. And so that's been a good resource.
Do you feel that people in your industry are not really utilizing social media as a growth model?
I don't know. I think they are. I think they may not do it. I mean, we all have our way of doing things. I think my way is a little less it's different than the industry standard probably, but part of that is I'm not buying my content from anyone. A lot of advisors hire an outside company to help them do the content. Nothing wrong with that. It's always amazing. And it's also compliant, which is like the big scary thing in my world, is making sure everything's compliant. And my stuff is compliant, but I'm the one creating it. I'm the one seeing the headlines and talking about it, or having a question from a client about what a certain thing is, and then posting about, hey, this is how this works. So I think they do use it. I just think it's a little different. And
Sure.
it goes back to that lingo too, of like people in my world tend to use our lingo, which loses people sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not always.
So one thing that I've always respected about you is you're able to balance your time with your son and grow this great business that you have going on. So how do you maintain that?
I don't. It's different now than it was 6 years ago, like when I bought my house.
Right.
He's 16 now. And so it's not easier, but it's intentional. So I put everything in the calendar and I try to take those times to do the thing that is in my calendar and then ignore it when it's not. So I do answer phone calls from clients at 7 o'clock at night or text messages at 9:30. Like I will do that. But I try really hard to keep that boundary
Yeah.
and make sure that I schedule things for him first, because that was why I got into this. Because when I was in banking, my son was just being diagnosed with autism. He had had trouble in school, was not able to go to daycare. Like there was a whole thing in life happening. And so I made the choice to be self-employed for many reasons, but one of which because I had to. He didn't have care. And then he got diagnosed with diabetes, and that just kind of like added to the everything. So it's been a lot of he comes first, unless he's just being, the teenager attitude. But he
Sure.
comes first when he has things that I need to be there for him for.
How big is utilizing your calendar for you?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Outlook is connected to my work email and to my personal, but everything goes into my work email, even my personal stuff. And everything's color coded. So I have like admin time, client meetings, prospect meetings, business development, and then personal. Important is like my least favorite color. I made it important orange because I hate it. So I'll notice it. I think I made personal stuff red because that I also will notice, but that's like one of my favorite colors. So I color code everything.
I've seen you. I don't know what we've known each other 7, 8 years, and
Yeah.
I've seen you as red as your favorite color since I've known you. You know,
Yeah.
that's so funny. That's so funny. So, have you seen your genre of business change in the last 5 years? Do you see like technology changing it in different ways?
Oh yeah. Well, even you think of like the beginning of COVID, it was not standard to meet online. It was standard to meet in person. Everything was on paper. And the company, who will not be named, that I was with at that time would not allow us to meet with people. And granted, that was a year after I had started, but we
Mhm.
weren't allowed to meet with people until we had like something signed saying that if they got COVID, they wouldn't sue us. Like there was some really weird stuff that happened. But in that time, it became so normal for people to use Zoom to meet, to
Right.
use Zoom, to use Teams, all of those things. And that has hugely evolved since then. Even my business, a lot of my clients are not in Colorado. I have all over the country. And I could not do that if I didn't have Zoom. that in itself is huge. But we see technologies like Charles Schwab is my custodian. So they're like who holds the book and records of the investments I manage. They have every single week something coming out new, and they're listening to us, which is what's really cool about it is I use a company called Advison for my CRM, and they have an advisor panel. I use Paychecks for some 401k stuff, 401 Go for some 401k stuff, a couple other companies, but all of them ask for advisor feedback. And I don't think that's always been how this world has gone. I think that initially they were like, oh, well, we're just going to make these things because we know they need them. So it's really cool to see that input. And then regulatory wise, it's always changing, like constantly.
How big is utilizing your CRM for you?
Oh, it's huge. But, well, so one of the legal compliance type things that we have to do is when we talk to clients, we have to keep record of the conversations we have that led to action and led to why we're recommending certain things that we're doing, right? So our CRM is where our notes are taken, our prospects are added, our households are added, our accounts are tracked, my billing's done through. It's like huge. I can send mass emails, I can do performance reporting. It's so fun.
Do you feel like if you didn't have your CRM, you'd be losing money if you didn't have it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If for nothing else, because I wouldn't have all my ducks in a row. Well, squirrels. They're not really ducks, and they're not in a row, but they're better than if I didn't have.
How's
Because
that?
the alternative is a spreadsheet or something, right? Is it
Right,
like Word docs and no thank you.
right. No, the reason why I'm emphasizing that is because there's a lot of business owners out there that still don't see the gravitas of utilizing a
Totally.
CRM,
Yeah.
utilizing a place that you can manage everything in one easy to track type of software. So that's why I
Yeah.
was asking those questions. So thank you for being so honest about that. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, they're definitely necessary. And it doesn't have to be super like Salesforce is like a ridiculously large program. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be crazy. It can be Suites has one. HubSpot is one. Monday is one. Like there's so many options. It
Right.
can be simple.
Right. I love that. I love that. So as you know, we're kind of winding down here. One of the things that I always ask people that go into business for themselves, if you could look back or if you could give a piece of advice to someone that's stepping into their own entrepreneurial journey inside of your career genre, what would that piece of advice be?
Ask all the questions, no matter how stupid you feel asking them, because a lot of the times you'll realize how smart you are.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
just simple to the point, and it gets people out of their own way, right? Like
Yeah.
you have so many limiting beliefs in your own mind. Oh my God, I don't want to ask that question because I would sound stupid, right? And the only person that's stupid about it is yourself because you didn't ask the question.
Yeah, totally. Finding your community too, I guess I should add. Like there are so many communities of advisors out there and financial professionals, insurance professionals. I mean, there's those communities are where you ask that question. And if you've asked it, tell people this all the time. If you ask the question, odds are 1,000 other people have asked the same question. So
I love that.
ask it.
The other thing that keeps makes me come with more questions is like, how big do you utilize people in your own career? Like a lot of people don't like to talk to the same people because they feel they're competition. How do you feel?
I think that's a silly way to look at it because we do the same thing, sure, but we don't do the same thing.
Right,
Like anybody who can Google could do what I do if they had the time and the experience and all of the things. It's that acumen, right?
right.
But every single advisor has a different background, different education, different support, different types of clients, different everything. And this industry is so big, there's no way to know absolutely everything. If you try to be that jack of all trades, master of none, you're not going to do very well. You have to recognize your limitations and then reach out to people who do know that stuff, are experts in it to be able to ask their advice. There are, this industry does tend to be kind of divided. There are the ones who are like, everything is competition. and I don't want to talk to you. They forget my name at networking events and say they've never met me before or don't introduce me. It's kind of funny because it's just kind of funny. Like I'm a loud redhead. I'm really hard to miss. So if you forget who I am, it's fine if you
You're
forget my name, but odds
unforgettable.
are you're not going to forget me.
Yeah,
And
you are
that's not to toot
unforgettable.
my horn, not to toot my horn. Not at all. That's not what I mean. Just red hair, you know. But there are those people who do that, and then there are those people who are like, "Oh my goodness, let's have coffee. If nothing, we can commiserate in our misery." Yeah. And so finding those people is powerful. Those
I,
people who will connect.
I absolutely love that. So I wish you nothing but further continued growth and success. You're you're one of my go-tos for any questions I have in that space that you have that you're in. And thank you so much for being a part of our conversation today. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good talking to you and seeing you.
Absolutely. Sherry Carlson, if there's any way that people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you if they're looking for your services?
Sure. So they can call me 719-602-1221. They can email me at Sherry, and it's Shari because that's how my parents spelled it. So Sherry at myunitywealth.com or my website, myunitywealth.com. So
Awesome. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for being a part of the Scaling Up Success podcast. Really appreciate your time today and best of luck in everything that you got going on.
thank you. You as well.
Awesome. Once again, Ryan Van Ornum with the Scaling Up Success podcast, powered by Cynergists. Cynergist is your scalable operations company that will help grow your company exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Once again, thank you so much for being on, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.